So now it has been 3 days since Jesus has been crucified and they put him in the tomb. And so on this very same day, two disciples are going to a town called Emmaus. And as they're heading down this road, it's a couple miles out of Jerusalem, they're talking to each other. They're a little saddened because of everything that's been happening. And that's what they're talking about, things that have been occurring, in the past, and also what happened these past couple of days with Jesus. And as they're talking and walking all these things, Jesus appears to them, just a stranger on the road, but they're unable to recognize him. In fact, they can't recognize him. And so Jesus hears their conversation and sees them walking, and he goes, "Hey, can I join you? What are you guys talking about?" And these two men go, "Sure, why not?" And they're like, "Wait, but don't you know what's been going on?" And Jesus is just like, "Nah." Remember, they still don't know it's Jesus. Jesus goes like, "Nah, tell me about it. What's been going on?" And he's like, "Our friend, Jesus of Nazareth, has been crucified by our leaders and by our Pharisees. And we thought that he was going to be this Messiah. We thought that he was going to unite Israel and save us. And we saw him teach the word of God. We saw him eat and sit with sinners. We saw him heal people and heal the blind and the lame. But now all this has happened." And in fact, we actually got some news this morning from some people in our company. Some of our sisters, they got a vision from an angel that said Jesus has been risen. And so they went to the tomb where they laid him. And when they got there, it's empty. And so we told other disciples also went there to make sure this was real. And when they got there, same thing. Jesus' body was nowhere to be found. So we don't know if he's risen. We don't know if someone stole his body. And as Jesus is hearing them, remember, they still can't recognize this is Jesus talking to them. Jesus goes to them and says, "Don't you get it? Don't you know that everything that has been written in the Old Testament, in the scriptures about this Messiah and everything he would have to suffer had to happen for a reason before he would be shown in his glory?" And so as they're walking together down this road to Emmaus, Jesus and them just start talking, and he begins to explain all these things in the scriptures to them. And so time passes by, and they finally reach Emmaus, and Jesus is pretending like he needs to actually go farther. He's not stopping. But the two men are like, no, it's getting late. Come on, man, you gotta stay with us. And Jesus is like, "You sure? Like, I don't want to be a bother. I actually gotta keep going, man. I can't stay too long." But they're like, no. Come into the house, stay with us, eat, we're sure. Jesus is like, "Okay, sure." And so there's down, it's dinner time. It's time for them to eat. Again, they still don't know that this is Jesus with them, that's been with them the whole time. And as they're there, they give Jesus some bread, and Jesus gives thanks. And then he splits the bread, and then he gives it back to them. And as soon as Jesus does this, their eyes are open and they're able to recognize that it is Jesus. And also what's going on in that moment, Jesus disappears right then and there. Poof, right before their very eyes. And guess what? These two men start talking to each other. They're like, "It makes sense. Of course it was Jesus. Of course it was our Jesus that we knew and that we loved." Because guess what? As he was teaching us the word of God, we just felt this fire, this passion in our hearts and our souls. Of course it's Jesus. And so they stood up and they immediately started heading back to Jerusalem. They ended up walking a lot. It's crazy. And so as they're walking back, they're going to go find the other disciples, the 11 with Peter. And Peter also has seen Jesus. So he's telling the other disciples and those around him, like, "Jesus is alive. I've seen him." And as he's telling them this, then these two men go also in there and they start saying about, "Look, we were heading down to the town of Emmaus and down the road and we found Jesus." And they start all talking about this. And as they're all talking about this, Jesus just appears. Like, poof, inside the picture appears, and everybody just gets scared. Everybody gets scared, and Jesus says this, "Peace be with you." That's just so chill. And as he's just there, everybody's scared, everybody's afraid, everybody thinks he's a ghost. They can't believe that he's really, really there. And so Jesus is just like, "Touch me. Touch my hands, touch my feet, touch my heart, my scars." A ghost ain't got no body, ain't got no flesh, ain't got no bones, but I do. But there's still, some of them are actually super, super happy that Jesus is even in the room. But some of them still don't believe, and some of them are still doubting. Some of them are still scared. And so Jesus is just like, "All right, let me settle this. Do you have any food? I'm hungry. You got any food? I'm hungry." And so they bring him some fish. And Jesus just starts eating in front of them, relaxing. And everybody's just like, "What? He's eating." And as he's doing this, he tells them, do you not remember everything that I taught you before? Do you not remember everything I told you about the Messiah and the Son of Man and everything you're going to have to endure, and that I was going to rise again on the third day? Do you not remember everything that I've already told you and showed you? And altogether, Jesus is with all his followers and disciples, and he begins to teach them everything from the old scriptures and the prophets about who the Son of God is and why he had to endure it so they could understand.